He's back at it again. He's back at it again. Big Ives K, he knows his stuff. He's back at it again. Do sign up to Spiela.co.uk for your chance to win 6-month free membership on Spotify. You got a chance to win 6 months free Spotify. Yes. And I'm going to pin that comment to the top. And I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in. Just waiting for it to get going. Oh, yes, video got. And I will start sending out some more invitations. This is the first time trying it on an iPhone. And as far as I know, I actually think it's recording. Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Fine, thank you. I do believe this is recording. This is the first time using an iPhone to use this. So I flicked up and I pressed the record button. As far as I know, it's still recording. I don't really know how to stop it, but
Uncle, record this thing. If not, you'll be paying me my talk back.
You know what? That's a doozy. That's a given. That's a doozy.
Have you ever paid somebody their talk back? You will be paying me my talk back.
Nah, we'll make it down. Yeah, sorry, I just have to make sure it's coming in and out. But when I checked, it did say recording, so I'm hoping. I mean, have you got an iPhone? Do you know if it stays recording?
I do have an iPhone, and I believe that when it says it's recording, that means, I think where the challenge is actually, sorry, I'm trying to move my lights.
Yeah, no worries.
Where the challenge is immediately after the live, what you need to do is, before you click it to add it to your profile, you should click save. That's the only way. If you don't save it, then it's gone.
Is this on the iPhone? I'm sorry, is this on Instagram Live? So as soon as this is finished, it should say save. Okay, because it doesn't do it on my Android, but I have read that it does this. So I've got it recording in the back anyway, on the iPhone itself. So if not, I'll definitely make sure on the top right to click save before anything's
cool. Because I've done a few Instagram Live, and in the end, I'm like, oh, Jesus, what did I say?
Yeah, no, I totally understand.
I want to learn, because sometimes these things come up as I'm talking. I have not pre-recorded most of them, so
yeah, no.
I don't want to pour out, and I will not enjoy the discussion. I don't like to be cheated in this life.
Yeah, no. Listen, you know what? In this life, we have to win, so we have to make sure it's there. Okay, so while I hope that it will be recorded after. Let's. I guess it's best just to kick off now. So, hello, Vymart. How are you?
Do you want the official version, or you want the truth?
I want it all. I want the truth. I want the ups and downs. I want everything. Talk to me.
Okay. First of all, I can see all my Vymart supporters: Wajiha, Martha, Edith, Empress.
Hello.
God bless all of you for coming, because this my makeup will not waste.
And we've got my lovely girlfriends. Shout out to Gina Atelier. My lovely girlfriend's online as well.
Oh, hello, girl.
Hi, girl. Hey, girl. So just want to say shout out to my missus as well. But yeah.
So to answer your question, how am I?
Yes.
The official answer everybody gives is fine. How am I generally? I'm okay. How am I today? I'm tired. I'm overloaded. As a coach, one of the questions that we ask as a check-in to ourselves and both to our coachees or our coach relationship is, how are you showing up today? Like, what's going on for you today?
Yeah.
And what's going on for me today is a bit of overload. I'm not complaining. I could be the other spectrum of the stream, which is being bored.
Yeah.
And because I'm very active, I have a lot of energy going on. I am not complaining, but I'm working my way through balance.
Yeah. Now I can tell you're definitely, even I'm feeling a bit of the energy you're emitting at the moment. So no, it's nice. It's refreshing to be a part of it.
So Ivan, how are you?
My dear, I am good. Thank you very much. As you said yourself, just kind of bunch of energy, just overloaded with lots of things going on. However, trying to stay sane in this quarantine. So it really is just a case of trying to stay fit, trying to stay sane, trying to stay busy. So those are my three things I'm trying to trying to go by, to be honest. So, but yeah, all in all,
Okay.
pretty good. All in all, pretty.
That makes me feel human. Thank you very much.
No worries. So please, without further ado, I'd love to know more about obviously Vymart, what you do and yourself, and of course, I'll be sending in more invites for more people to join. But yeah, please, the floor is yours to kind of have an introduction as to who you are and what you do.
Okay. So let's start from the name. So it's Vymart because my name is Vivian.
Okay.
Yes.
Vymart. Yes.
So I hate the embarrassment of having to correct people when they pronounce the name wrong. So I didn't want to drop the embarrassing word. You kind of got it in between, so you're flowing. So it's Vivian. So it's Vymart. Yeah. Who is Vymart? So Vivian is a Christian. In case you haven't noticed, I am Black.
Yeah, didn't notice that. Sorry.
No, not at all. The bleaching is working. I'm from African origin, so I'm originally from Nigeria. I am a first-generation immigrant, actually. Nami first, after my papa people to come abroad. So that kind of thing, yeah. So I have been living in the UK for the last, I think it's 13 years plus. How I moved to the UK was to do a master's degree in HR, and then thought to go back to Nigeria, went back for a few weeks, came back, decided to take a pottering job to wash plates in the kitchen because I decided that after doing a whole master's for a whole year, why would I go back and be doing buying and selling? Please, let's just find this work. And 13 years later, my day job, I'm a business partner so I'm a HR business partner. And somebody asked me this question yesterday, actually, on Sunday, whatever day today is, I don't care. Someone said, so what do you actually do in your job? And I was like, good question. A lot of things, but on a very helicopter view is I do a lot of strategy. So I problem solve. I'm not involved in day-to-day operations, but I'm HR business partner for a firm that spans across Western Europe and Dubai. Okay. So I do HR for all of these locations. There's a few of them, up to 13 or 8, I can't remember. So I do HR, sort of creating an HR organization that looks and feels the same, regardless of whether the employee is in Germany, Netherlands, UK, Switzerland, etc. So a lot of my job is, what can we do to help employees feel like they have the same opportunity, the same exposure, the same growth? And I work side by side my business partner, who is the lead of the delivery organization that I look after. Okay. So that's me in my job. Outside of work, which is equally getting as busy as work, actually, I'm a YouTuber. This is my 3rd year in YouTube. I'm still a very small YouTuber. Even though I have a big voice, I am still very small. And I'm grateful for the journey, but that's what's making me a little bit tired lately because, oh boy, it is a countless job before you get to where you want to get to. It's a thankless job. So I do lifestyle, travel, fashion on YouTube. And very recently, because I'm training to become a coach, I've been coaching for 2 years before now. I've sort of brought a segment into my YouTube channel called Ask Viv. And I just uploaded a video today, guys. Go and check it out. My channel is Vymart. And the video is about being micromanaged in quarantine. Double whammy, as in your own is finished. You have a micromanager who likes to control your time and your life. And now they can't see you face to face. So you're in trouble. And how I get these questions, people just come to me because of my HR background. And they talk to me about their problem statements. And I just keep making a list. So I have a long list of potential YouTube topics. And I keep telling people that come on my channel to give me YouTube topics. But I'm quite excited about Ask Viv because for a long time, I wasn't comfortable to talk about my HR career on my YouTube channel. But actually, that's where I'm going. It's more HR on coaching and maybe a bit of fashion and just lifestyle that I'm going in the future. So that's my YouTube side. On the coaching side, I've been coaching for the last 2 years. For the first year and a half, I didn't know what I was doing was coaching. That's because I've been coaching myself for the last 15 years. Until I encountered somebody that is a coach and they said, have you tried the grow model? Because everything you just explained is the grow model. I was like, what is grow model? I Googled it and realized that, oh, okay, I've been using the principles that I just instinctively as a gift know and works for me. And I tried it with friends and family. And there is science behind it. So I decided to get trained this year. So I'm currently about to conclude my training as a business and personal coach.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Oh boy, the study is not easy. It's a lot of work. Who sent me to go back to school at my old age? Like, why do you do that? Why do people do that? I have essays to write now. Why? Why? Vivian, why?
So on top of schooling, you obviously do HR, you do YouTube. I want to know, where do you find the time to do all this? How do you arrange yourself and prioritize this time?
That's a very good question. So you heard me at the beginning of this conversation saying I am working my way through balance. So in my head, I treat my personal life and my work life with the same structure and discipline. And I'm using structure and discipline because I've actually just finished a coaching call with a client and we talked about structure and discipline. So that's where this is coming from.
Yep.
All of this.
Everyday structure, discipline. Structure here, discipline
Yeah.
there, up there,
Yeah.
up there.
So in my work life, I realized that because I get paid to do my day job, I have a discipline, so I have to deliver for my employer. Plus, I'm HR, and I think I put in one of my videos on Instagram that you get to a point where you know how not to be sacked.
Yeah.
So because I'm HR, I'm kind of at the forefront. I know what to do, what to say, da da da. But what that also means is my personal hustle or side hustle or my day job or my personal life also needs the same level of input and progression as with my day job. So I've gone to the point where I have created the same level of discipline. So on a practical note, I have a lot of rest time. If I did not have rest time, oh, the Empress said, well done, Viv. Love the video you posted today. Thank you. That's my sister from another mother.
Thank you very much for tuning in and welcome.
Thank you. So I have a lot of rest time, and there's a new one that I've created recently. I've been trying it for 5 weeks. That's what I do. I try stuff, and when it works or when I learn from it, I pass it on. And what that means is, thank God I am a Christian, so I can tell you it is biblical. The Bible says, obey the Sabbath and keep it holy. So Vymart has latched onto my Saturday as the Sabbath. So for all of you hearing this, now you know why you cannot contact me over certain times. So on a Friday night, I give myself like a Friday party where I do whatever I want until 2 a.m. And then my phone goes off and does not come on until 4 p.m. on Saturday. Because I am not the NHS. If you have an emergency and you're my family member, please call 111 or 999. If they break into your house, call the police. If you need salvation, call Jesus. If you are really desperate, I'm not your only friend. So by the time you go through everybody, I would have rested and I'll come back on Saturday evening. I'll be like, so what's up?
Yeah. So I guess what you're trying to say is that, there are, you're there, but you're very guarding of your time, kind of like time is precious.
I have to, because I suddenly have a lot of hats.
Yeah.
And I do a lot of planning. So in my work schedule, I have 2 post-it notes where I have what am I going to achieve this week? So I feel like I've had a productive week. And then what am I going to achieve on a daily basis? And I enjoy when I tick them off. And I have schedules in my diary to give me those rest and break times. In my private life, I also have what am I going to achieve this week? And then I put the days in between all of them so that I'm not feeling overwhelmed. So that I don't start doing what I was supposed to do next month. Thank you, Andre. Andre said, you look good, Viv. Thank you. It was conscious. So that I don't start doing what I was supposed to do in 2 weeks' time today. And then I overwhelm myself. So I like to plan my time. And sometimes it can be exhausting. So there are days where I just go, Vivian, don't plan. It's okay. Don't do anything. Just work with how your brain works. Because sometimes I can be very regimental. Maybe because my dad was a police officer. So
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my
so you say your family background and how you were influenced is definitely attributed to who you are now as a person and how you go about things. So do you believe, as a HR professional, do you believe a structured approach is always the good way to go about things? Like, is there ever a time to go off on a whim to do stuff?
If you go on, so there's pros and cons to everything. If you go on a structure and protocol, like I was for so many years, uncle, your life will be boring.
I agree.
You will be dead. Like, what is it? Is it when you get to heaven you start enjoying life? So when I started so another thing I haven't put on my bio is I'm a recovering perfectionist.
What does that mean? Recovering perfectionist.
Everything has to have a certain standard. who even told me that the standard was high or good or low? It doesn't matter. It's just a standard that I set for myself. And because people like me that have perfectionist tendencies are usually overachievers. And they're the people that everybody gravitates towards because everybody's bored during quarantine. But when I tell you the things I'm doing, people are like, where'd you find the time to do this, girl? Like, how are you motivated, girl? And I have to, exactly. So I have to remind myself again that it's overachiever tendencies and I have to drop it.
Yeah.
So in the last 2 years at least, I've been practicing having a balance, which is when I find myself really going with the regiment. I'm like, Vivian.
So how easy is it to fall into that trap of kind of like being a perfectionist? How do you kind of like cope with or try to fight that temptation of just going back into resorting to old ways?
Old habits die hard. So it's self-awareness, recognizing. So I'll give you a very classic example. Yesterday was Sunday, I think. And yesterday I had the gift of having an hour session with the group of coaches that I'm training with. And we just had a whole check-in. And I woke up yesterday, being Sunday, I had a whole schedule. In the morning, I was going to join church. And after church, I was going to join an after-church group. And after that, I was going to do this coaching group. And after that coaching group, I had a video to shoot. And after that video, I had a video to edit. After that, I had a coaching client to talk to. And after that, I was going to die. It was Sunday, mate. So I think by the time I'd done action 1, 2, and the third one, I was starting to feel some anxiety, palpitation. And I said to myself, Vivian, you need to enjoy life. What's going on? So whilst I sat in the coaching cohort and everybody was doing the check-in, how are you showing up today? What's going on for you? How have you been studying? I wasn't talking a lot.
Yeah.
I'm sure some of my colleagues noticed because I'm usually the life of the party. So when I shut up, there's a problem. So I didn't talk a lot because I wanted to understand for myself what was going on. So as everybody was talking, I was writing, and then somebody shared how she understands what goes on for her. And the moment she shared that, I realized that the two things that were making me stressed was I had too long a schedule for a Sunday.
Yeah.
I would quite love to enjoy and rest because I have a full-on day on Monday. So then I realized that, okay, what's going to help me have a good Sunday? This was midday now, so I still had the opportunity to switch. And what was going to help me have a good day was find somebody who I can pay to edit my video. So I did that yesterday. So whilst I was on the call, I immediately just got somebody who agreed to do it by the deadline. So by this afternoon, I still uploaded my video with my deadline, but I paid for it. And then I dropped you have to shoot a video. Sorry, the channel is still mine. Nobody's paying for it right now. It's still my money. So please, I own it. So I have the luxury now to say, park YouTube for an hour and rest.
Yeah.
So when I always ask myself, how are you doing, Vivian? Like
self-care. So this is your form of self-care. Always asking yourself how you're doing, how you're getting.
So I stop myself and I say, how are you doing? And then I feel what I'm feeling. What am I feeling in my head? What am I feeling in my heart? What am I feeling in my body? What am I feeling in my legs? And all those information, whatever those information gives me is what I work with. So I let my body guide me rather than keep going, because perfectionist overachiever tendency, remember, it's old habits. I'm in my mid-30s. I've done it for a good 20 years. It's not going to go away because you decided to switch hats in 2 years ago. I have to keep catching myself out and taking a U-turn. It might take me 5 years to get to balance, but I'm on my way because one of my values is to enjoy life. I came to this life to enjoy, not to suffer.
No, I get that. And also just wanted to say hello to everybody that's joining, and please do put your questions down. We are going to an answer panel shortly for Ellie's Vymart, just to be short, it's Vymart. Yeah, I've got it now. So I've nailed it, so it shouldn't be a problem. But yeah, so I guess another question for me I had, which I want to know, is how do you maintain your positivity when you keep going? Like, as you know, time gets hard, stress, especially during quarantine, everything going on at the moment. How do you maintain the positivity to keep doing what you're doing? Is it through faith? Is it through cultural belief? Is it just the willingness within yourself? Do you generate that happiness? Do you find it in certain things or places? That kind of thing.
Uncle, you are just taking a topic for my YouTube video, but it's okay because you will record this thing and I will not
It's
shoot
all
the
right. It's
video
going,
again. So no
good minds.
editing needed.
Good minds.
So how do I maintain positivity is a couple of things. The first and the really basic is I'm true to myself.
True to yourself. Yeah, yeah.
I am honest. The days I feel like crying, I cry. Oh my goodness. And those kind of people where I'm so in tune with myself, I make being vulnerable so sexy that everybody around me becomes vulnerable. I'll give you an example.
So is it like a symphony?
My
When you
coach,
cry, everyone cries. Is it like a symphony, yeah?
when I open up, people don't have a choice. They'll just be like, okay, my life is not perfect after all. Oh yeah, let's just start coughing now. So I'm true to myself. And I was doing my makeup this evening. Obviously, I've worn this the whole day, but I'm putting a full face of makeup. I don't wear makeup anymore on purpose. I'll tell you why. Putting on a makeup for me is like putting on a face. Yeah. And that's putting on a facade. And what a facade does for me, I don't know if anybody experiences this, please put a comment. But what a facade does for me is I have to perform. I am in performance mode. So when I came to the awareness that actually that's what makeup means for me, it is perfect, looking good, looking great, so presentable. And I'm not about that life anymore every day. When I decided that that's what that was for me, I think it's coming to 8 months now, I decided I was not going to wear makeup every day.
Yeah.
Because my face is bare, I'm not wasting my MAC powder. If I'm feeling low, I am
expensive MAC powder to be wasted, isn't it?
Oh boy, when I started buying it, it was 17 pounds. Please, somebody check MAC how much it is right now. What kind of inflation is this? MAC, if you ever watch it, please just dash me powder. I will do a review for you. Don't worry.
Come on, we'll do it.
Plug. So how do I maintain energy? I'm true to myself, and it's the basic things like don't wear makeup. And on every given day, I want to know how I'm doing. That's when my quiet time comes in. A lot of it as well is my gift. So my friends and people on the Vymart farm have asked a lot of times, which is why I'm going to do a video about it. Is your energy like this every day? No. And yes. 70% of the time, I'm very positive. I can't help it. If you see me some nights at 2 a.m. dancing with no music, you would think I'm mad.
Fela Kuti, yeah? Only to Fela.
Oh, I watched the Kalakuta Queens last night. That was really good. That was like going to a theater for me. Honestly, I loved it. So only me, it's a gift. See, before I thought maybe when I was 21, I was like, you still have energy. When you're 30, this will slow down. Oh boy, the older I'm becoming, the more the energy is there. I can't explain it. Maybe in the future, when I have children, they'll take the energy from me. I won't be surprised if they don't, because my mother, close to 60, has the same energy as me.
Okay.
So maybe it's genetics. Maybe it has to do with the fact my name is Vivian, which is lively. It also definitely has to do with my faith, because my relationship with God spans over 20 years. So I know God for myself, and we roll with the punches, whatever life throws at us. And my value is to enjoy. Even when I'm suffering, I want to enjoy the suffering.
What does that mean, enjoying the suffering? What does that mean?
It's almost like this season is not going to happen again. So how can we make the best of it? So I'm one of those people that stand in my prayer time. I'm like, God, this is not nice, but what can I do to enjoy today? And then I'll be like, ice cream. So I'll be like, I'm still praying for this visa to come true. But let's just lick ice cream, Sha.
So you always find a way to find enjoyment through the tunnel, kind of.
I don't know how I find it, but I find it. There's always in my head. I was reading the book of Job this morning, and whilst Elihu, one of Job's, the youngest of his friends, were just dishing it out to him. In fact, by the time I got to Job 33, I was like, ouch, that hurt. But in my head, I'm like, Uncle Job, I'm sure these guys become your enemy right now. But in my mind, I'm like, I wish Job enjoyed this season as much as it was painful, because he didn't realize he was going to get 7 times 7 of everything he lost. So who says bad times are a bad thing anyway?
It's so overrated, isn't it?
Life is life. It's supposed to go up and come down. It was never meant to go flat. So because I'm coming to realize and accept, a big part of it is I am learning. That was hard for me, Ivan. Learning to just accept and just...
that's a big theme for me the last couple of weeks. Just learning to accept that things happen in a way in which you may not necessarily not understand, whether that be leaning on faith, whether that be leaning on your own understanding, or whether it's just leaving it to the universe. Things happen in a way in which it will just happen, and you have to learn to let that go. So that's very powerful, and that means that's actually touched me quite a bit. What you just said now about the whole thing of just have to let things happen and better roll with it. In case, so that's my sister, so it's good to see her in there. She's now a very big fan.
In case she's going preach, amen to church. Please collect offering.
So yeah, she's very much a big supporter of you now. But no, I guess again, thank you so much for that point. And I guess it kind of ties into one of the other questions I have for you. And by the way, guys, for those that are new to it, please do put your questions below before we open up the Q&A for Vymart. But a question is, you work in HR, right? And my sister also works in HR also. And this is a question I've asked her and I've asked you. While I've been told, and I believe that, a HR professional works in the best interest of the company, while obviously trying to protect the person that's dealing with a situation. Has there ever been a situation you've been involved in where it kind of conflicts with your faith or your beliefs or your sister, or kind of something that it may be deemed immoral, but for the sake of the job it had to be done? So I guess the question is, how far are you willing to go within the job if it conflicts with faith or belief, or what you deem to be morally correct or not? If that makes sense.
Okay, so let me answer that question in two folds. How far am I willing to go within the confines of a job?
Yes, yeah.
If it conflicts with my faith and belief. Before I accept a job, it has to be within my values. Now, doing the job is a totally different ballgame.
Yes, yeah.
So I would not, 13 years in, if I'm not in the position where I'm saying yes to a job and goodbye to another job, oh boy, what have I been doing for the last decade? So I think I'm in a privileged position where I'm saying no, yes, no, yes. So I'm grateful for that. It took pain and tears to get here, including British passport, praise God. But in the confines of a role, I have come across that 60% of the time, 50% of the time, where it doesn't abide to my value, but it's not about me. It is a company.
Yeah.
The person who set the company up has a business to run.
Yeah.
And maybe this is because I come from a business background. So at the age of 9, I was already a business person in my family business in Nigeria, running a show on my own with my older brother.
Okay. And what did that involve?
So
what did you guys have to do within that show?
We had a couple of petrol stations. So I literally, between the age of 9 and 11, I would either pump the petrol and sell fuel myself. I remember people used to say to my dad, your children should go to school. You'll be like, they're on holiday. And they're like, they are too young. And my father is like, is this not what pays their school fees? Sell the petrol job. So that's where I'm coming from. So because I appreciate that the owner of the business has a business to run. Yeah? It's not about me. Now, so my values have their place. The other question is, when circumstances, especially this whole HR thing, people actually, you were kind to put it nicely. Some people will be like, so HR say that they are for the people and for the business, but really they work for the business.
Which I do believe. Let me interject. I do believe that. So
if you're a HR professional, please let me help all of us here today. And I'm going to speak on my behalf from my work experience and hope that somebody can second or debunk.
Okay.
As a HR person, I work for the company, which is the business leader and the employee. A lot of the times, my loyalty is in the middle, and I'm not best friends with the business leader or the employee when it comes to situation. I am friendly, it's not a problem. I'll tell you why. And this is the approach that I use with my business leaders, which is why we have a love and hate relationship. But I'm fine with it because I didn't come there to be a best friend. Sorry, you didn't. If you wanted a best friend, you won't hire a best friend. Now, excuse me. So we are best friends, but we are partners. You have the business heart. I have the HR hat, which means at different times we'll be going towards the same goal, but with different approaches, and that's fine because I will never be savvier in the business than you are. And you appreciate that you will never be savvier with managing people because I have managed people for 13 years as well as their careers in 7 different companies in 5 industries. Mate, give me some credit. So what I do is this. If a manager came to me, the classic one that I can think about to say, I want to sack Joe Blogs. Okay, no problem. We can sack Joe Blogs, but help me understand the sackery business. And then the managers sometimes, cannot articulate it, or they just went to this client and they just messed up, especially, oh, sorry.
No worries at all.
Oh, it's an hour. I'm sure Instagram is going to kick us out at some point, I guess. It's an hour. So if the manager is going to say, okay, we want to kick out Joe Blogs, and they did X, my next question is, did they know about it? Have you given them feedback? Blah, blah, blah. And then the manager goes, I don't need to give them feedback. I beg, I don't have energy right now. Vivian, just do it. Do what? Am I the owner of the people? When it comes to bonus and good news, is it me that tells them? Is it not you that tells them? Don't worry. So I take that business case and I go away and do my research. I never say to my business, no, we can't do it. Yeah. As a business partner, you do not say no to the employee, to the employer, to the business. It is a yes, but. There's always a yes, but. So I go and do my research, come back and I say, yes, we can do it, but uncle, auntie, please, you have to do it. I will tell you everything you have to say, but before you do it, I will put you in that situation. Yeah. So you said Joe Blogs did X, so Joe Blogs should be going, Abi. No wahala. Please, uncle, let's just make an assumption that you did X, and I'm about to let you go with your family circumstance, your mortgage. The moment I start putting them metaphorically in the person's position, they start going like this. Ouch, I don't want to do this. So you start seeing my business leads and my people leads going, they have all sorts of reactions. Sometimes they just want to record it. And then later they go, exactly, and later they go, and I'm like, okay, so what do you want to do now? And they go, so what do we do about it? Uncle, auntie, so you needed my advice. I thought you said we should sack the person. So that's when I go, what are the options? How bad is the damage? Yeah. Because I make my business leads very comfortable to be able to come to me and say, I want to sack Joe Blogs. Because you know why? If you stick by the rule as a HR person, well, as an HR advisor, HR specialist, HR operations, HR admin, you should follow policies. So don't say I didn't say stick to the rule. The more you have experience, at least over 10 years, you've seen it 10 times over. It's not new. So what I do is I never say no. I don't follow rules as such. I think about what's the best thing we can do given the circumstance. So I ask, what is the impact on the relationship? Because there's one thing, if anyone is listening today, there's one thing that doesn't work in your favor in the world of employment. Once a relationship is broken, forget it. If you like, be the most intelligent, don't worry. See, to find a story on how to exit you from the business has never been anybody's problem. Even you, if you want to defriend somebody, can you not create a story? We're human beings.
They want it gone.
We can create a biased story.
Gone.
So that's where I start. So what's the relationship like? What's the impact on the relationship? Is it salvageable? Does the person have the right attitude? Can we tell them what they've done and they would accept it? What are the circumstances? What does good look like? How do we work towards it? So these are all the options. By the time we finish exploring it, we always come out with what's right.
Yeah.
It might not feel right for the employee because a lot of the times people are so oblivious of how terrible they performed. I mean, I'm black and I'm proud, but sometimes when my black and African people come to me with some work-related tasks, I'm like, I don't know where to look. I'm just like, are you kidding me? And you will leave this thing and go and be praying in church. Continue praying. I will send you the sack letter. And sometimes we're so proud. I'm sorry I'm saying this live, but sometimes when I hear some things, I'm like, but brother, sister, you don't even know the job. And you're saying you are better than your manager. There was one thing my father taught me from a young age. You are never more knowledgeable than your boss. So if your boss, let it be 12 years old, he or she is your boss. So basic respect, basic right attitude, basic have a cordial relationship goes a long way. So to your original question of, am I always on the side of the business? Not necessarily. I'm on the side of the employer. I have had to do some exits that I wasn't necessarily excited about. And that was one of the exits I did in a contract. It's over 7 years ago now. And there's 250 people, and most of them were disabled. Those guys are never going to be able to find work. The government said they'll give them allowance or whatever, but they would rather be productive. So that hurt me, but there was a business case to it. The business wasn't making money. So when I'm standing with a line manager who's about to have an exit discussion that they're not comfortable with, I remind them that it's not their decision. There is a business case. If the person is not performing, I'm sorry, that does not mean they're a terrible human being. They might just be better off somewhere else. Yeah. So give them the opportunity to go. And because I faced redundancy myself, I don't take it to heart anymore. Because immediately after my first redundancy, I had the best career move ever. In fact, I made a salary jump of £15,000 between that redundancy and my next job. Okay. So how is that a bad thing?
And I guess, no, thank you so much for that kind of point in particular, just about, you know, knowing how it works. So always knowing that you always look for the middle part. Ultimately, you're on the side of the employer, but there's always a break even. You want to make sure that it's not impulsive and people think about the decision they make before they do it. And also the point you made about relationships. Once the relationship is gone, that's it. And for me personally, I believe that having a good job, being successful in a job is all about relation building. Like that's 80% of any job you have, being able to build relationships with people, because there's always going to be stakeholders involved in any kind of work that you do. So it's important that you get those relations going and not to burn bridges. So no, thank you for that point. I have a question here from Swap Nanil. He's a friend of mine based in India. He does a lot of great work in India, Swap Nanil. So he asks, how do you motivate and inspire young people to kind of wanting to get into work, or what can they know? What kind of things can inspire them to get into the world of work, young people?
Oh my God, this is what I live for. I feel like I need a whole day to pour out my heart. But given the time constraint that we have, and please reach out to me and I'll be happy to chat more. I like to do this on an individual basis because one size doesn't fit all. And because we're in a generation now where, thankfully for the younger generation, or any generation younger than 25, you are younger, I'm giving you a good 10 years. Call me auntie when you see me on the road. But for those generation, you have the privilege of mostly doing work that fits with your value. In our time, which kind of value? We were pursuing salary. What? Who knows values? So to getting into the world of work, I think more about what you love to do, but it has to be a balance. And there can be a short and a long-term goal. What you love to do might not be paying the bills, so you might need to get your backside to work and get the bills sorted whilst working on what you love to do that will pay the bills. So a classic example is myself. YouTube will pay the bills at some point. YouTube, I could sit in front of this camera and talk to remove coronavirus from this world. Like I can talk a dead man alive is a gift, right? But I cannot just quit my job today and say I want to do YouTube. Oh, but we will drink Gary. Even though I love Gary, granite milk and sugar, it won't really sustain me when that becomes my main meal. So necessity is that I do a job. I'm also lucky to be doing in a career that I chose by myself. I was supposed to be a medical doctor. In fact, I studied medicine, or I attempted to do medicine for a little while, and I have a first degree in microbiology. So talk about how I got to HR. That's why I said career coaching is something I did for myself, and I love to do it. So get a job that will pay the bill. If you have the opportunity to do a job that you enjoy and pays the bill, marry them together, put all your eggs in it. But if you don't, it's not a deal breaker. A time and a place will come. But what else will I tell you? Send me a DM. I can't be giving general advice because a lot of the time, one size doesn't fit all. I'm passionate about helping younger people get into a career that is right for them. Because if I was a medical student, I think I love my father to bits. God bless his soul now. He knew I had a flair for helping people. But Uncle did not know that helping people and wearing stethoscopes are two different things.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's the whole pride and joy of there's a doctor in the family. Please don't use me to fulfill your dreams.
Amen. Amen.
Which is a lot of the African challenges. And I think the Asians as well, because I have some people in my network who are either lawyers, doctors, engineers, whatever, what their parents wanted. And I was the rebellious kid who was flown to the UK with full school fees and full year upkeep, with the assumption that I was going to study biotechnology and then do a PhD. You are who? I use the school fees to pay for human resource management. This. Don't come and kill me in the lab. Science is boring. Don't tell my father that.
Yeah, no, I love science personally, but I'm more of that mystic science, in the sense of kind of practices and arts of not really so much experimentation, but more the science of astrology and everything. So I have to disagree with you a little bit on that one.
I like science because my brain is intelligent and I'm supposed to be a genius kid because I got into university at the age of 14 plus.
Oh, wow.
But wearing a lab coat is boring to me, and sitting in the lab and looking at stethoscopes and bacteria and E. coli and all of this business. But wearing a word coat is prestigious. And I love prestige. I mean, it comes from my African heritage. We like things that look nice. But I could not be a doctor. It was just too much work. If I could talk my way being a doctor, I would. But I couldn't. So I escaped. And then even after my first degree, my father said, go and do medicine. I went to a private university. I looked at them with left eye and I said, hell no. And then I came to do a master's degree. And my father thought I was paying for biotechnology. And then he discovered a few months in, and I thought I was going to be disowned. And he said, you want what?
The conversation must have been a bit tense, the conversation with Dad.
You should have heard when I told my father I wasn't doing a PhD. He put his hand and he said, you would have thought I was pregnant for a bastard. Did you know the man? My mother started crying. She has finished us. His PhD, I said, I want to have a master's. Please congratulate me now.
How can you be finished if you have a master's? How can we be finished?
She has finished us. Maybe she thought I finished them because I actually ate the school fees. Sorry.
So I guess to follow on that question as well, I have another one here. How does a young person how do they build the confidence, or how would you suggest someone approaches such a decision towards their parents or friends? I know it's about having that internal confidence to want to go pursue your interests, regardless of what people think. I guess how is the best way for a young person or anybody to go about that, really going for their goals, regardless of what anyone thinks, regardless of what it may deem to be like, especially as you said, within African culture, you know, the whole looking to see what everybody else is doing, flashing, stunting, is quite apparent in our culture. So how does the person get that confidence to just go and do it?
Okay, a couple of practical tips. Please don't laugh because I'm really serious. First of all, you have to become a Catholic and go through Station of the Cross. You know how they do it, that Jesus died, and as they're carrying that cross, be the Jesus on that cross, let them nail you, just die first. So you have to have died, so that when they are killing you, you are not dead anymore. Because he that is down with fear no fall. I said don't laugh, Ivan.
Sorry. No, you know what, you're
exactly.
Right.
So first die. After you have died, come and talk to me. Because by the time you finish disappointing your parents, I'll be the only one that understands. I'll give you an example. In my family for years, whenever anyone talked about my career, they'll be like, oh, what's that thing you're doing? HR thing. That's what they called it for years. It was only until a few years ago. I now heard one of my family members proudly say, if you want to follow your dreams, go and talk to Vivian. I say, say it again. They say, you are the one that knows to follow your dream. I said, sure, see you. Shebi, I was the one doing HR thing. I was supposed to be the black sheep. So how come I am the one that knows? That's what I mean by send me a DM before you have the conversation so that I will clear my diary to hold your cry. Because it will be very heartbreaking, because unconsciously or consciously, we all need validation, or we all gain validation from our parents.
Validation, you're important.
So the people my siblings are going to debunk this, but in my head and in my reality, I'm my father's favorite child. So the man you hold so dearly next to Jesus now has a disappointment about you. Your confidence is gone. But there was that little thing in my mind that said, we're going to work this HR out. I don't know how, but I have studied a master's degree. So HR, better come. And for a whole year, guess what, Ivan? There were no jobs. 2008, there was recession.
The recession.
God punished me on top of my decision. No, God, you didn't punish me. You blessed me with learning. Thank you. So my father kindly was giving me interview allowance. See, some parents, God will bless them. Even when they want to kill you, they'll still be supporting you.
Yeah.
I used to go everywhere in the world for interviews, including some places that today I look at it on the map and I'll be like, wait, Vivian, if they give you a job in that place, would you have gone?
So you're saying that it's not the end of the world, it's not the worst thing. So that's what you're kind of trying to say. Right?
It's not.
It's not,
but it's hard.
But it's hard.
You need to have one person that understands what you're about to do. So that when you do it, that one person will be the only person that can say, it's okay, feel what you go through it, and now you have the pressure on your shoulder to perform. So for years, I was working as hard and as fast as I could so that I'm not a failure. Because I know that everybody else behind me, not that I have younger siblings who are very young, no. Everybody else behind me would either be encouraged or discouraged from following their dream. So I was working for a whole generation, not me. And thank God, now I'm not resting my shoulder. When somebody says, what do you do for a living? I don't even say HR and be like, I'm a YouTuber. They're like, where where's your HR director? I'm like,
your name speaks for itself. So you've got to that level where your name speaks for itself. No, that's incredible. And, you know, it's just kind of following from your point. And I definitely believe, Rob, just go and do it. I know it's hard, it's scary, but there's nothing, there's no other thing you can do, right? But except go for it, except have all the confidence. Once you get that initial shackle off your back, it's like the only way is forward now. So there's no reason to not have that confidence to go and pursue your interests and your endeavors, regardless of what people think. And you're right, even if you think it's the end of the world, people will always be there to support you in some way, and just focus your energy on those people that want to support you. So, and
let me also say this: you have silent supporters, even though you don't know. I didn't realize a lot of people were cheering me on, because the moment I started getting a break, I got my first day charger, a lot of people were clapping for me. But in that moment to get there, everybody was silent. Yeah. Because everybody had to be on my father's side, because he felt disappointed and they owed him some level of loyalty.
Yeah. Oh, that's an amazing, obviously, take on it. And me, you know, I could talk to you all day, but timing-wise, I know we have to be careful because this will kick off soon. But obviously, I'd like to, of course, say thank you for, you know, your insight, and just thank you for how you put everything together. And I feel like you've touched upon so many important points within the time we've been speaking. Just really, it's the human element, right? It's the human factor of who you are, the trusting and believing in yourself to go and do what it is you want to do, regardless of whatever others may think, or regardless of what you may think of an outcome will be. You just have to keep working towards what it is. And your story has been so interesting to kind of hear, because it's refreshing to someone that's been in the game for 20 plus years, has experienced all the highs and the lows, and has more to share. And again, I know we can sit down and talk every day. I guess now, just check and see if there's any other questions. Not in the moment. I think most of them were answered. And I think the main consensus people were talking about in regards to yourself is your courage and your energy, which I think the audience love about you the most. So
thank you. I want to put it in a container and sell it. Yeah. I'm about to start selling this, my energy. Somebody give me a business idea.
In a container. So everybody knows. Auntie has rice in a container. Just so everyone here knows, you have to get it from Auntie. And of course, I'll show you information. I guess I have two more questions, and you have to answer them, and you give me a reason why. Nigerian or Ghanaian jollof, and Burna Boy and Wizkid, who's better? You have the. Are
you the devil?
I wanted to get that.
Are you the devil? What kind of question is that?
Get that one out there.
Can I just pass? Can I just pass? I'll pass. Come on, are you the devil? How can I start creating enemies as a small YouTuber?
You're a very prideful woman, so I would have thought you would have said Nigerian jollof off the bat. So clearly, Ghanaian jollof has tempted you a little bit. Clearly, you're thinking about it. And no, there's no gade or dodo with it. No, this straight just jollof, no extras.
I'm not about to be dragged on Instablog Nigeria on which side, so I'm a pass, Ivan.
All right, I'll let you pass on that one. But ladies and gentlemen, you can see that it wasn't an easy decision. Okay, and Burna and Wiz, can you answer that one? Burna Boy or Wizkid? Who do you like?
Are you the enemy? Did they send you?
I'm Ugandan, so we're neutral.
Why do you do this? Why are you doing this?
Oh, my baby is fine. If you send me the location.
Next. Both of them are my cousins. Leave it there.
Then you have to choose who's your favorite. You have to think back to who let you play outside. No, not even who play outside. Who would be more courteous towards you then? All right, not even if who's better. Who do you think?
You're bringing bias. You are bringing bias. Uncle, both of them are my cousins.
Okay, who would you rather hang out with, do you think? Who do you think you have more fun hanging out with between those two?
Uncle, both of them are my... Tell both of them to invite you to hang out. After I've hung out with them, I'll come back and tell you. So Wizkid and Burna Boy, slide in my DM and invite me for a hangout.
See, you can tell she's HR. She's very good with being able to deal with questions.
It's called diplomacy.
That's it. No, I like that. It was a bit of a test of diplomacy, and I think you passed with flying colours. But that's all the questions from me. But Vymart, I'd like to thank you so much for joining the Spiela QA today. It's been fantastic having you, and it's been really refreshing. And thank you for bringing so much vibrancy and energy to the audience. And you never know, as you said, silent supporters. There may be people here who really needed this. So I know for me, I've definitely had some learning points I'm going to take away from this. So I guess thank you so much. And is there any final words or messages you'd like to share with the people?
I want to thank you, Ivan. I want to thank you for your platform, because I'm looking to do more collaborations this year, and not just collaborations because I know somebody that knows somebody. You reached out to me from not knowing me. You put my video on your Instagram feed from not knowing me. And I had to ask you, how did you get it? And then we had the whole conversation, and now I'm here. So thank you. And I also want to thank all my supporters. I can see my friends, my family members, they all joined. So thank you. And for everyone sending the love, and Ink Ivy saying preach, and people loving my energy. Thank you so much. So please go and follow me on my YouTube, because when I start selling this energy, you might need it. I don't know how, but I want to monetize my energy. That's my next business plan. But I've absolutely enjoyed talking today. I was slightly nervous before we got here because I wasn't sure what the questions are going to be like. Who's your grandmother? How old is your father? I wasn't sure, but I enjoyed it. So thank you, and I look forward to further collaborations.
Definitely. And, you know, of course, we've got a lot of really cool things coming up. And for those that are new, please do check out spiela.co.uk. We are a social marketplace network full of opportunities. And, you know, our aim is to connect lots of people to people such as yourself and opportunities, and just to kind of stay connected and build that opportunity market. I also wanted to just put out as well, if you sign up now to www.spiela.co.uk, you'll automatically enroll for a chance to win a Spotify 6-month subscription. So, yeah, and some Amazon vouchers. So please do sign up to the website for the chance to win. And welcome to the community. And Vymart, I'd like to thank you so much for your time. And may you have a great day. And may God bless you always, and everybody.
Amen.
And have a great evening. And happy, safe quarantine.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for coming. Have a lovely evening.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.